Welcome to my video about organizing problems using an inventory tool that I came up with after I bombed a test in physics. I looked at my paper and I saw equations everywhere, and I thought that perhaps if I organized myself better, it would give me an easier time doing these problems. So I came up with this method, and the very next test I got a 98% or 100% on my test. The first step is to make the table. Create 4 columns and these headings. Step 2 is to interpret the word problem into facts that you can put in the given column. These are things that are given to you. I recommend that you use a symbol, a value, and a unit for each. Although sometimes symbols may use more than one letter, or you may prefer to write the whole word. If you can, I recommend just using one symbol. If you have related symbols, go ahead and use the same letter and use subscript to distinguish between them. Step 3 is to write the answer but no given value. So come up with a symbol and a unit for it. Sometimes you may choose to change the unit later, but just put a guess down as to what kind of unit you'd need. Step 4 is to use reference facts from textbooks or the internet and put them in your reference column. Sometimes the given information is not enough, and you need this other information in order to solve the problem. This information might be in the form of constants in nature, such as the acceleration of gravity, the speed of light, or the charge of an electron. They could also be equations demonstrating equal distances, for example, anything that could help you create a conversion factor later on. Or you might just choose to write the conversion factor in the reference column like I do in the example. Step 5 is to work out some derived facts. So what happens is you take the facts that you already have and you combine them using equations to come up with new facts. Sometimes you don't even use all the facts that you came up with from these 2 columns, and that's okay. Just leave them in there. If you want to cross them out later, you can. Eventually, you'll use all your facts to get to your answer. Write your derived facts in the derived column, and write down the train of thought in which you got this result. Step 6 is to write in the answer value. Example: a scientist discovers a supernova in a nearby galaxy and thinks it occurred 2.365 times 10 to the 20 meters away. When did this supernova occur? Let's write our columns. Write our given fact, the distance, which I symbolize with D. I give it a value and a unit. I think I'll describe my time with years because we're dealing with big numbers and big distances. I think perhaps the speed of light might come in handy, or a conversion factor that relates meters with light years. So this conversion factor uses the fact that 9.46 times 10 to the 15 meters is the same as 1 light year. When you have a conversion factor, this equals 1, okay? So if you take some number and you multiply it by a conversion factor, you get the same number, except it looks different, okay? Same number, it just looks different. Well, actually I should say it's the same dimension, it just looks different. For example, 12 inches times 1 foot over 12 inches equals 1 foot. Now, 12 inches and 1 foot are the same, they just look different. In my second train of thought, I divide the distance by the conversion factor to get the distance in terms of light years. I plug in the numbers and calculate to get 25,000 light years is equal to the distance. I put that in my derived column, marking which train of thought gave me this result. I think I'll need another reference fact, so I put that in the reference column. And I work it out down below. So the distance divided by the speed of light gives me the amount of time that the light traveled from the supernova to my eyes. I plug in the numbers, and I like to write my symbol at the very end so that everything's together nice and tight, and I can easily see what the result is of that train of thought. And I put that into my answer. If the answer is presented well this way, I like to put a box around my answer like this to dry my eyes to it. If not, I can always write another train of thought, maybe 4, saying something like supernova occurred 25,000 years ago. And I put a box around it to draw my attention to this fact, that it is my answer, and I'm done. Later on, I may create some related videos and put them here. This website, atutor.xyz, may not be up yet by the time you look for it, but I should have it up soon.